our structural alignment segment, we do a number of different exercises or principles, and normally what we like to try to do is start from the ground up, being able to ensure that we build the strongest building possible is built with a solid foundation. So therefore we look at us doing the exact same thing with our techniques and our stances. So what I want to do is share with you a little bit about how we can position ourselves to maximize the strength in the feet. So Ruben, what I'd like you to do is do a H stance for us. Okay. Now in doing this, what we try to do is focus on the center toe being pointing straight ahead. A lot of times when we tell people to line their feet up, or when people say to point their feet straight forward, they usually use the big toe as the toe of measure. And that's actually not the center of the foot. The center of the foot is found as the middle toe. If you divide 5 toes, go to the middle one, that's the middle toe. So what we want to do is have that pointing forward. And what it tends to do is create a little bit of a pigeon-toed appearance in what we do. Okay, now that has a great advantage because now by the direction in which we point our feet, our energy is now being projected in that direction. Now the other thing that we do is what I'm going to have him do is now I want you to squat down slightly but shear your knees outward. And as you do that shearing action, what happens is you actually get the torque in the feet. So the feet actually adjust, and if you can see, they tighten up and they actually grip the ground, which gives you an extremely strong or rooted stance. A lot of times people will get into this horse stance. These are some of the things that typically weren't totally exposed. You'd stand in a horse stance for years, but now all of a sudden you find that you actually can root or be anchored or grounded in a lot of cases. And this enables you to actually draw on the earth's energy, which takes us up into the body energetics that we look at. But again, like I say, we want to make sure we have the center toe pointed forward, knees pointed outward slightly, and then we set. The next portion that we add to this is we add what we call a slight pelvis tilt, where we actually take the sacrum and drop it and tilt it slightly forward on the bone. And what you'll find is you'll get that additional alignment. And this is where we can begin to find our center. We begin to find that center of gravity in our body by being able to do this. Now, there's a couple of things that you want to be careful with as you do this. This can be strenuous on your tendons in your knees and in your feet. So you want to gradually build up to do this. This is something that you learn to hold up to 3 to 5 minutes to a half hour. But I would definitely suggest as you first start doing it, do it in 30-minute increments or 30-second increments to be able to get the feel for it, relax, because over time what's going to happen is your tendons will begin to strengthen from that tension that they're becoming used to. Okay, just stand with me in a horse stance. Okay, now what I want you to do is point your feet straight forward. So you line the center of your feet up with mine. Okay, well, count 1 to 5. Count 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the center of my hand? So, what's the center of your foot? The middle toe. Okay? You want to start to feel a shearing feeling in your feet. Okay? So as I start to do this torque, I want to start to feel my feet shearing into the ground. Okay? And as you do this, this becomes rooting. Just standing in a horse stance isn't rooting. This becomes rooting. As we deliver these strikes, we do this shearing action to root or to anchor. And now you're drawing the earth force through your legs. Okay? So what I do is from here is you just practice this. It's just this shearing action. And then what you do is you want to rotate the toes or the knees out. Okay? Again, this now all becomes part of just simple structural alignment. And you start to begin to apply these things, and all of a sudden, in doing it, you start to feel the strength of it. You start to feel the strength of what you're doing, or in your legs. You can start to feel the strength of this technique, or the strength of what you do. And remember, as always, Let's get to the point.